Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new and final episode of Boku no Hero Academia 3rd season on episode 25, which is also going to be my final recap and final thoughts on season 3 of Hero Academia, or My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero Academia. Aside from that, this episode was actually pretty fabulous. In terms of adaptation wise, yes. And if anything else, let's just get this started. We had to it that one of our that Class 1A gets introduced to the Big Three, while one of them seems to be a little bit shy and can't talk to people. While the girl, on the other hand, she is a little energetic and is somewhat of a child, honestly. I mean, if you guys watch the episode, you'll know what I'm talking about. I remember reading this in the manga, I didn't pay too much attention to it. But when it came to Mirio, oh my gosh, dude, that guy was insane. Anyways, he proposes that he has all of Class 1A go up against him to get the idea of what the internship's gonna be like. They go like, "You sure, man? I mean, we're not just simple small fries, you know." But we see to it that they decide to take on his offer anyway. And this gets very ugly right now to a point where Mirio actually activated his quirk. And it seems that to me all attacks went through him all of a sudden. Then later on, when it came to like everything else in general, he ends up having to like actually land one hit KO punches to most of the students of Class 1A. But when it only came to those in long range fighters. When it came to close combat, it seems that to me Izuku seems to predict where he's going to go, and he almost landed a good hit on Mirio. But apparently, that did not work on Togata himself, and he ended up having to use a one-hit KO punch to his stomach and everyone else. Eventually, we see to it that we get to know that his quirk is permeation. And, you know, when I first time heard about this quirk, I did not like look into it too often, and I did not understand much about it. But eventually, it is explained by Mirio Togata entirely. Like, he's able to phase through one place to another, or you could say that he's like teleporting, but there's a very bad side effect to this thing. So we see to it that Mirio explains like, my quirk is not all out invincible. I made it very strong throughout my training and my experience myself in internships, you know? And he further explains like what are the bad effects of his quirk. Like, if he uses his quirk on his entire body, it's really, really bad right now. Because one, he won't be able to see, he can't hear, he can't even breathe. So in other cases, he had to train it to a point where he could have part of his body, like one of his legs, to be like able to spring him back up, you know? But apparently, like, in other cases, like, the fact that you guys are confused about, when he uses his quirk on his entire body, or possibly some of the parts of his body, he can't feel anything, just the sensation of falling. So that is pretty scary in a certain sense. So that's the reason why he further explains that he made this quirk very strong because of the experience and training he went through, you know? I can activate everything but one leg. Then I gotta release it in the other leg and land on it, you know? That's how like that's how simple steps is involved. In this internship, you're gonna learn how to like train your quirk to a point that you mastered it or something. But we see to it that after everyone's been talking about it, while Boku is still stuck to cleanup duty, you know, we see to it that Gran Torino gets a call from Izuku and asks him if he's going to take anyone in. But he goes like, "I'm sorry, I won't be able to. I got something else important to take care of right now." Instead of asking me, why don't you ask All Might? He is all out ready to actually teach you right now, you know? That kind of thing. And we see to it that he suggests that you should go talk to a sidekick, you know? Form a sidekick. And this is where it gotten really tense right here. We had to it that a pro hero ends up talking to someone called Sir. And this guy goes like, "Yo, just report in an energetic way of like, in one breath." We see to it that we get the situation of Overhaul making a move right now. And he ends up having to making contact with the villains, apparently, that is led by Shigaraki, you know? And we see to it that Shigaraki tells twice, you really brought one crazy fish now, didn't you? Even Overhaul actually has some like issues just by looking at Shigaraki, knowing that he's gonna be trouble. Izuku makes his narration like we're getting a step closer to being heroes, but the mouse continues in the darkness to move forward, you know. And we see to it that that Izuku ends his narration, the one who was entrusted to be the successor and the one who was entrusted and released into the wild, you know. So would meet in not so distant future, and it ends up with saying to be continued in the 4th season. So I'm pretty sure all you guys would know beforehand, before this confirmation or announcement came about, that there would be a 4th season Hero Academia. But aside from that, like let me just continue on my recap and end things off there. Then I can talk about it there. So yeah, pretty much in simple words and without a lot of details, that Class 1A goes up against the big three Miria Togata, and he ends up having to kick their butts like no tomorrow, like in less than a minute, or possibly like 2. But we see to it that, of course, after that they get the idea of what the internship is going to be like exactly. So we see to it that as the episode goes on, of course, Overhaul meets up with Shigaraki, and things are about to get very tense from here on out. And the entire episode ends off with the confirmation that's to be continued in the 4th season. And there's a post-credit scene that 4th season is being in the makings right now, which is a very cool thing. Because like the way how it ended and the way how it started off, you know, in last week's episode, and especially what could predictably, in a predictable way, that what could happen, that there would be a 4th season eventually. That is for certain. Especially when someone named Overhaul, etc., when that sneak peek was shown at the post-credit scene here and there, is going to be made. So overall, this season of like Hero Academia of the 3rd season, I gotta say, in terms of adaptation, they did a really nice job. But in terms of like adding a little bit of filler here and there, it was kind of bothersome. But I don't think it's much of a big deal, I guess. I mean, like try to fill in that gap for 25 episodes, or just take a break from one thing to another. I don't know, but one thing was sure, in terms of adaptation, they did a very good job. And of course, like if I was just an anime only, etc., if I look at it in another perspective, I think it was a nice one too. So aside from that, I really enjoyed it, honestly. I mean, 3rd season. I mean, like I'm a manga reader, and I'm pretty sure if you guys go to my my anime list or Mal once in a while, you will understand that I will be updating it constantly, as best as I can. So yeah, I really look forward to like 4th season, which I really believe it could come out in next year, because I think it could cover the entire arc the way I look at it, but I'm not really sure if they plan to cover maybe just one arc or maybe 2. Depending if they want to cover maybe 2 arcs instead of 1, it may take a little bit longer. Because think about it. I mean, Season 1 of Hero Academia started in 2016. Then Season 2 came out in 2017. And third season came out this year, 2018. So there's a possibility or not that it could that the 4th season will come out in 2019. I mean, if you anime onlys and manga readers have been keeping up and catching up with Hero Academia all the way, you will understand that each year it's been coming out with the season. Like 2016 was season 1, 2017 that's season 2, 2018 that's season 3. And it's always been coming out around 2:30 a.m. around the freaking USA or something in my time zone. Kind of bothersome knowing that I can't stay up late and make a lot of noise, because that's when everyone's freaking asleep. And that's when I get really tired too. But aside from that, like I said, I'm really looking forward to like 4th season. It's really crazy. Although like a lot of people, especially I had some other friends, did not really like, some friends that did not like it. But for me, I thought it was a pretty nice arc. That much I will tell you about. I won't say anymore because it will just spoil for anime onlys. So until then, I will see you guys in the next video. So All my Alpha Zero people, have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, right? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot toot!